What's up, everybody, and welcome to Tino's Time. And on this episode today, we're going to be having our first episode of Story Time, as we're going to come here on this series, and I'm going to tell you stories of how I met wrestlers, how I went to certain events as a kid, stories that maybe you have never heard, maybe you have not told anybody, and things that you guys may have never known about me, and things like that. So today, I figured the best way to start it off, in case you are new to the channel, you may have been a part of the channel when we did this vlog and when we did this meet and greet. But if you're new to the channel, you're just joining us here and you maybe have not seen it. I'm going to tell you the story of how I was able to meet Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys, in Homer Glen, Illinois. We also saw a match. We saw a couple other matches, and I brought a few friends around. So I figured, be a good one to start off with. Let's get to the chat, though. Let's see if there's anybody here. If anybody is here, please hit that like button, all that good stuff. Subscribe, all that, jazz. But let's start it off. And let me tell you about how I kind of figured out about this. Because this is something that actually I never even knew was a thing. And until I actually saw it, then, it was something I was like, oh, okay. And I need to give a shout out to a few people because if it was not for these people, I would not have been able to find it. So I was scrolling on Facebook, scrolling through all the feeds and seeing what everybody was doing, like we all do at random times because we're bored and we got nothing else better to do with our lives. And shout out to the Golden Sponge. He tags me on a post. And at first, I didn't think it was real because let's be real. You guys, you can make up anything. You can put anything out there. And you really don't know exactly what's what. But he tagged me in it. I clicked on it, and it was a meet and greet for the Hardy Boys. And I was in shock that they were going to be very close in Illinois to where I used to live at. And it was going to be a meet and greet. You could get autographs. And then, as I said, they had a wrestling show. And we also had the likes of the Ascension at the time. This took place, guys, also April 24th. 2022 on a Sunday. So shout out April 24th, 2022. I got to give a shout out to my mom because her birthday was a few days before or a few days after this. And we were supposed to do something that weekend. And she was nice enough to put it off one more day. So we were able to go to do this. But it was at the Megaplex Sports Center in Homer Glen, Illinois. As we saw, as I said, the Hardy Boys, as they took on and they were teaming again. Obviously, as you guys know, they're on their last tour and everything as a tag team. We also saw Penta, you guys, and AEW, soon to be at WWE once Rey Fenix could get his injury BS taken care of. We saw Penta take on Jay Lethal. We saw the Ascension, as I said, they were in tag action against some other people. The one person that was supposed to be there that was not going to, that sadly they had to switch it. It was Carlito. I was so excited to see Carlito, and I was so excited to meet Carlito at the time. And obviously, I'd still be excited to meet Carlito. I don't know why my camera's acting like that, but I was excited to meet Carlito, but things happened, and we were not able to see, and Carlito was not able to be there. But were able to meet the Ascension, and if you wanted to, you could meet Penta and Jay Lethal. They had other things that you wanted, but obviously the main people were the Hardy Boys. And I got 3 tickets, and my family, I'll be honest, my family, as much as they support me here in the chat, they really don't know too much about wrestling. They all used to watch it back in the day with the Hardy Boys, the Rocks, Austin, Triple H's, Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era. My great uncle, Raymond, shout out to Raymond, we miss you every day. He actually had the VHS DVD and the VHS tape of WrestleMania 3 that we watched here on Peacock this last April during WrestleMania season, or February or March, wherever we watched it at. And it's just so crazy that, all these years later, that we were going to be able to have the opportunity to meet two wrestlers that at least I grew up watching. So even though my family didn't watch it, and they don't watch it now, they just support me. So shout out to them. And they don't really know what's going on. And I tried to get some of my family members to go, but they didn't want to go. And that's okay. You know, I understand. You don't want to go. You don't like the wrestling. But what that just meant we had to call our two friends. And you guys know we've been friends with Chumblebee and Golden Sponge for a long time. I tell you guys all the time. We've been friends for forever, childhood friends, and we've just always been. I used to say the three best friends that anybody could love, but now one lives here. I live in one state. He lives in another state, and the other one lives in another state. And we're all it's like a triangle that we make now. How far we are away from each other. It's kind of gross. But at this time, we were all still living close together. So I invited them and my friend Golden Sponge. He's in the chat all the time. You guys know he's a big Rey Mysterio fan. And it was something that he has never been to. And Chumblebee, I love Chumblebee. He has never also been to a Raw or SmackDown. And I know he went as a kid, and I think he did say that he's went as a kid, but he's never actually been to one. I've tried to get him. I tried to get him to go to Survivor Series with us last year, but he didn't want to go. And Rocco already bought the ticket, so we had to bring Rocco. That was okay. We'll get Chumblebee to a wrestling show. So when I asked them to go, they were like, heck yeah, because they've never been to a show. As I said, we all grew up watching the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian. It was just something that, honestly, I never thought was going to be real. And so we got the tickets. We bought the tickets. We did all that. Again, shout out to my mom for helping me get the tickets, and shout out to my mom for making sure that we could go, and we put the birthday party. I think we did it the day before or the day after. I'm sure you guys don't care, but I still want to tell you the full story. But that Sunday, we ended up going, and thank goodness we ended up showing up to the event when we did, because we were like the 7th or 8th person in line. And by the time we got done, and by the time the door started opening at like 9 o'clock, the line was literally, so like, what could I use? Let's use two controllers. We're going to use two controllers. So like the building was like here, and then the line literally, okay, so like right where I had that controller, the line literally went all the way around the building. So like all the way around my laptop. And the last person, so like the building's here, and I think the last person was like over here. So you had to go in a giant circle to be able to get in. So thank goodness we got there when we did. And at the time, I didn't know what we could exactly bring to sign. And as you guys have seen, I've shown you guys the Hardy Boys Funko Pop, and I may run and go get it again once we get to that thing, and once I pull up the vlog and everything. But once we got there, we got in line, we waited and everything. We were like I said, like the 13th or 14th person in line. And what I did not know at the time, which I'm kind of upset about now, but then again, it's really honestly, that's not what it's all about for me, at least for me. I just really enjoyed the experience, and I love being able to say, like, I met the Hardy Boys and being able to talk about it. But what I wish I did know is that I could have got more things signed for a couple extra dollars. And at the time, yes, it may have been a couple extra dollars, but it's also one of those things that you may never be able to do again. So it's just one of those things I kind of regret not bringing a couple other action figures or cards or pictures or stuff that I do have that I could have got signed, just to have a few extra things signed. So I brought my Funko Pops. You guys have seen them. I've shown you guys. We got the Funko Pop signed. Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys, doing their thing, signing it for me. And like I said, I wish I would have got other things signed and everything else like that, but I did not, and that's okay. But we walk up to the Hardy Boys, and guys, I cannot say how scared I was. This was 2 years ago, so you got to remember also 2 years ago, it was right around the time when I first started doing the live streams. We started doing live streams in 2022 in April, and we went to the Hardy Boys at the end of 2022 in April. So it was only like a few weeks, 3 weeks of doing live streams. And so that morning, I woke up because I'm like a 12-year-old kid, and it was like Christmas morning for me. I woke up, I put out a little video. I said, "Hey guys, it's your boy Tino. If we're going to the Super Megaplex or what the sports center place the sports megaplex that they had it at. If you see me, say what's up, all that good stuff." And the first thing I do when I walk up there, I go, "Hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you guys." And Matt goes, "I think I saw your video today on YouTube." And I'm like, "No way." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Tino." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I saw your video." He goes, "I really liked the way you were talking and the way how you said certain things and everything else." Like, I was like, "Oh my God, you have no idea how much that means to me." I was like, I listen to the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy all the time. And then he was like, Jeff, like, you saw this guy's podcast I was showing you earlier today. So even the fact that Matt even took the time to just have a few second conversation with me while he signed the Funko Pop and while we were talking, just even acknowledging the fact that he saw my video that I posted the morning of on Twitter, on X, whatever you want to call it. It was Twitter at the time. And it was something that in a moment that I'll still talk about when I'm 50. And it may not be something big, and I don't even think Matt may even remember this, but it's going to be a moment for me that I'm always going to remember. So we talked for a couple minutes, and I was like in shock. So I walked over back to my friends, Golden Sponge and the Chumblebees. I got the Funko Pop. I put it away and everything else like that. I put it in my car. And then we walked around. We got ready. We watched the matches and all that good stuff. But instead of me just talking about those matches, let me show you guys. Now we're going to take a look at, and I'm going to go we're going to look at the meet and greet, the vlog that we did make here on the channel. So if you have not seen it, bear with me because it's not the greatest. But you know what? I like looking back at these things, and I like seeing the things that we have not done and the things that we have done. So let's take a look at the collection. Look at how that, I think at the time that's as big as the collection was, I think. But 2 years ago, let's take a look. I'm going to skip through a lot of it too. I'm going to because there's some things I can't show or there's some things I can. I'm going to keep the volume down also because I don't want YouTube to copyright me, because I did think, and I do believe that I did use the Hardy Boys theme music, and we don't want to get copyrighted. So let's press play and let's take a look. The vlog isn't like too long, but it is also, it's good. So let's take a look at it and let's do it. Blah, blah, blah. It's your boy Tino. This very special episode, guys. Yes. 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 Yes, this past Sunday. God. I feel like I gained like 30 pounds. Anyway. We're watching old Tino, and yeah. All right, shout out Tino. Let's get to the vlog. I'm going to turn the music down because I do not want to get yelled at. All right, let's go. Come on, Tino. Keep talking. Let's get to the vlog. So we're going to go through the vlog. Like I said, it's only like a 5-6 minute vlog. It's not too long. So that's me standing in line. People in the Hardy Boys. There's me getting the Funko Pop signed. There's a picture of us, the picture on the thumbnail, a close-up picture. I don't know why, my friend. And here's Matt talking to me, as I said, about the podcast. Jeff shook my hand. We were talking for a few minutes. Chumblebee, guys, if you need Chumblebee to do anything in your life, he can't do it. I asked this guy to take some videos. I asked this guy to take some pictures and everything else like that. So Matt's continuing to talking to me. And Matt didn't do this with anybody else. So it was really cool. There's Golden Sponge, his hand holding my picture for me. Awful camera work by Chumblebee. But sitting there talking to them, those were our seats. Sitting there talking to them for those couple minutes that I did, and him even just taking up. I did meet a guy with an alien head. That was pretty cool. Guys. Okay, guys. I'm not even looking at me. Can we take a look at Chumblebee? I need Chumblebee to get on the stream or get on something. I know, look at my face. It's ugly. But we need to get Chumblebee to get on the stream soon, because Chumblebee don't have those double chins no more. But at the time, Chumblebee was going through a bad time. And I always take a look back at this time and just, but he's doing good now. We got the referee and the ring announcer. We got some wrestlers. There is music and stuff, but as I said, guys, we don't want to get copywritten, so I'm just going to skip over it. We got Jay Lethal. I am now taking these videos also. We do have to talk about something else when the Hardy Boys come out, because that's Stone Cold ET. I'm dead. Is he a famous YouTuber? I didn't even know that at the time. Like I said, this was like 2 years ago. So we got Penta coming out. Penta and Jay Lethal. I cannot wait to see Penta come out and see what he does in WWE eventually. Listen, my camera work is not the best, but it worked. What's up, Kyle? Too Sweet Kyle in the house. How you doing? And there we go. I will say, for the building that it was in, the ring and It was really good. Like, it was a pretty big thing. And the one thing I would say, they let us they did let us move up close for these entrances, so shout out to them. But the one thing I will say is that I am kind of upset I didn't get like front row, because it would have been a lot like better. But that's okay. I think this is the Hardy Boys coming out. And there is literally a girl, guys, that as Jeff and Matt are touching, Matt and Jeff gives her like a handshake, and she's literally freaking out and having a like the biggest thing in the world, where she's just so happy, and it just everything she expected. We're gonna see Chumblebee's head in a second. Jeff touched Chumblebee's hand, and Chumblebee still to this day, guys, talks about it. There's Chumblebee in the red sweatshirt. I wanted to show you the girl, but we didn't see it. So yeah, so it was the Ascension taking on the Hardy Boys. And, you know, this was when they started their first run of being a tag team together. Remember when they first announced they were going to be finishing off being a tag team and everything else like that. But as you guys know, we still see them to this day. After the match, they did a couple things. And then after, this is the Swanton Bomb to finish it off. The whole show was probably only like 2 hours. Or no, like the wrestling show was only 2 hours. There was about like 3 matches. There was like a little like celebration thing that they did with some like random people. And then the Hardy Boys won. 1, 2, 3. And everybody went home happy. I wish I could play the music, but we cannot. And I do not want to get yelled at by YouTube. So we're not going to do that. But this Matt Hardy and this Jeff Hardy experience will be something that I will never forget. And will be something that I tell my children. Let's listen to Matt. Ignore my camera work. Sorry. Yeah. Outside of Chicago. South suburb Chicago. Thank you, man. When they retire, it's going to be so sad. Wonderful. Man, my camera work sucks. Can I hire somebody will be my cameraman? Thank you, Hardy. All right, there we go. So we got some more pictures. I want to make sure I didn't have the music copyrighted because we got some pictures. So we did get this one. Shout out to the few people I did take some pictures from. I had them send it to me. Another one of us and me meeting the Hardy Boys. Another close-up one. I don't know why I put the close-up one so many times, but you know, that's why we. And then at the time, this was my setup of the Hardy Boys, and I will show you guys my setup eventually of what I have the Hardy Boys as But there is the Funko Pop. We got Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys signature. We got all the Hardy Boys figures and the belts, Lita, and all that good stuff. But the Hardy Boys experience will be something that I never forget. It will be something that I never, ever, ever forget. And it will just always be something that I just remember good memories and something that I would love to do again with some other wrestlers. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, where we went back and we took a look at the time I met the Hardy Boys, what it entailed, how we got the tickets, and everything else like that. Obviously, as I said earlier too, the card was subject to change. It would have been nice to meet the man himself, Carlito, and I think Amato Estrada was supposed to be there, but I'm going to save Amato Estrada for another story, as I met him one time when I went to an independent wrestling show, and we also saw Rob Van Dam. So I'll keep that one for another day. So keep an eye out for the one where I met Armando Estrada and Rob Van Dam. But this was the episode how I met the Hardy Boys. If you guys got any suggestions of what you guys want to see more of, or what you want to see on this series, such as stories of how I became a wrestling fan, how I started watching wrestling, what was the first ever wrestling event I ever watched, what was the first wrestling event I ever went to, let me know what you guys want to hear in the comments, in the chat. Let me know what you guys think about it. And did you guys enjoy these episodes, or this episode? And do you want to see more of these episodes as I tell you the stories about being a wrestling fan, being a sports fan, and kind of how Tino's time came all about? In case you're new to the channel, you're just joining, or you've been here since day one and you just love to rehear the story all over again. But guys, that's all we got here for you today. So I'm going to go through the chat real quick. We're going to see what everybody's saying. And then we're going to go, because we got Thursday night football. It's the 49ers. It's the Seahawks. It's another weekend up and close and coming. We got Friday Night SmackDown tomorrow. We will not be live for Wrestle Dream, as we are taking Wrestle Dream off this time. And I kind of didn't realize that Wrestle Dream was this week. I got my weeks mixed up. So no Wrestle Dream live stream or preview show. I may do a quick short this upcoming week, but no Wrestle Dream live stream this week. But keep an eye out. Maybe I'll do a quick short on predictions. Well, we got Jonathan in the house. What's up, Jonathan? What's up, Hassan? What's up, Hassan? He says, I am the Undertaker. I'm done. That's Stone Cold. See, okay, now that you say that, I feel like I have seen him before. I just don't know where. And now it's going to drive me insane, other than there, because I feel like I've seen him at another wrestling show, and I feel like it probably would have made more sense. Like, it's funny. Like, I'm telling you a story about how I met him, like how I met the Hardy Boys. I low-key just saw the guy dressed up in the Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I love E.T. So I figured, I said, why not just ask him, and let's see if we can, let's see if we can take, I literally walked over, I was like, hey, dude, I was like, do you mind if we take a picture? He was like, hell yeah. He's like, do you mind if I put up the middle finger? I was like, nope. I was like, go ahead, all you, bro. So he put up the middle finger, and there is how we met E.T. Stone Cold. That's funny. I did not know that. Stone Cold E.T. He's a famous YouTuber. You were on his channel. I did not know that. Well, now I'm gonna have to go look out for that episode, and maybe I gotta get in touch with him sometime and be like, hey, you know, I met you at a wrestling event a couple years ago. You want to come on the show and have it? I mean, hey, you never know. Keep an eye out. Maybe we'll have the Stone Cold ET guy on the channel. But guys, that is how we're going to end here today's episode. You guys can go check out the full vlog if you want to go check out the full vlog of how we met the Hardy Boys and everything else like that. It is on the channel. Go to the videos. Go down a little bit because it is from a few years ago. But if you want to check it out, go and check it out. I do appreciate you. But if you do like this episode, and if you did like the story time, let me know what you think. And as I said, let me know what you want to see next. But, guys, that's all I got here for you. So go follow all the social medias. Go and do all that good stuff. Make sure you hit that notification button so you know when we go live next, which will be tomorrow night for Friday Night SmackDown. Make sure you also become a member. Leave a super chat. Get yourself some merchandise on bonfire.com if you have not yet. Tino's Time and the Southside Boys. Southside Boys 23 on Twitter. We got some big news regarding the Southside Boys coming after the World Series. We are in the ALNNLCSDS as the Mets just went on to win and they are going to the NLCS. We got to wait and find out what happens with the AL and NL for the rest of it. Go follow Southside Boys to keep an eye out what that big announcement is. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for the premiere episode of Story Time with Tino's Tom. As I told you the story of how I met your Hardy Boys. Enjoy your Thursday night, and I'll see you all tomorrow night for Friday Night SmackDown. And let's give away tonight's MVP to the last person that commented, and it's our guy, Daniel. Daniel, you are tonight's MVP. Guys, enjoy your night, and I'll see you tomorrow for Friday Night SmackDown.